Double Edge. And again, we had Youth Takeover Sunday this morning at Church on the Rock. And Caden, who went actually before Arlie, there was a 3. And Miles Leahy also talked. He did a short message, so there wasn't much to talk about there. I would have done that as well. But Hebrews 12, 5, and 6 was a scripture reference that Caden used. And it says on that verse, "And you have completely forgotten this word of encouragement that addresses your..." Oh, wait, no, that's right. Addresses your father as son. It says, "My son, do not make light of the Lord's discipline, and do not lose heart when he rebukes you." Fun stuff, like, isn't it? And everybody loves hearing about discipline. Yeah, not really. It says that because the Lord disciplines the one he loves, he chastens everyone except his son. How many of you guys remember getting, punished as a kid? And Caden brought this up, how he would get spanked as a young kid. He'd come up in a Christian home, and his dad used to tell him, my dad did the same thing, so I could relate to what Caden was saying here. He said that, why am I doing this? I'm doing this because I love you, and that you realize that whatever it was that you did was wrong, and it was a disciplinary action. But God, Caden was talking about how God disciplines a little bit different in the way that he does things compared to the way that our earthly father might do it. God's faithfulness, and God's version of discipline is a practically training you through instruction in the word and correction to obey, the rules and things that were laid out in the New Testament. A code of behavior, ultimately that's going to help us grow spiritually and mature. It's a process that involves some personal and other practices. While it can involve punishment, but it mainly is used to help us to grow spiritually, to correct our disobedience. Basically, discipline in the Bible is a goal to help us guide individuals toward a life that is pleasing to God. And Caden just talked a little bit about how, it's important that we allow God to discipline us so that we can grow in Him and have an effective life. And so that was a good message. That was the first message. And then Arlie Westcott got up there and talked about God's faithfulness and how she's relied on God's faithfulness. She talked about a friendship she had when she was 12, 13 years old, and how it, she got in an argument or a disagreement with her friend, and they went and talked for a while, and God kept telling her to walk in forgiveness. Oh, wait, it wasn't faithfulness. It was God's forgiveness. Excuse me. She talked about forgiveness. I'm not saying, know why I put faithfulness. And she also talked about how she used to read the story with Jesus and the woman at the Mount of Olives, and where he, basically, talks about forgiving the girl that was found in doing adultery. It says in John chapter 8 verse 9, and actually let's start back at first 7. He said, when they kept on questioning him and straightened up and said, let any one of you who has without sin be the first to throw a stone at her. She had been caught in the act of adultery, and he's telling all these people that are surrounding the situation. I'm sure you've heard this story before. And he says, and this, in verse 9, when you heard about to go away at one time, the older one first, only Jesus was left with the woman still standing there. Jesus straight up asked her, woman, where are they? Have they not condemned you? And Arlie was talking about this was her favorite part because she wasn't condemned. She said, no one, sir. Neither do I condemn you, Jesus said. Go now and sin no more. So basically he's telling you, you know what? No matter what you do, no matter the biggest mistakes you might make in life, you may feel condemned, but God has forgiven you. And then she also, was also a cool thing that she talked about was one of her little mentors, a lady here, that's in the leadership here at the church named Linda Boylan, told her that, she was kind of beating herself up about some sin or something, and she would, ask for forgiveness, but then keep bringing it up and keep feeling guilty about it. And Linda basically told her, God doesn't seem to be hearing me, and she says He's not going to hear you, basically because He's already forgiven you, and it says in the Word that when He forgives you, that He erases it from existence, that He chooses to forget it, so He no longer even knows that that's there. And I thought that was a cool point too, that Arlie made there about the thing and walking in forgiveness. We all need, wherever you are, you always want to walk in forgiveness. Never let somebody else, cause you not to walk in forgiveness, because it can put us in a bad spot. We want to be able to be faithful to God and be able to walk in forgiveness. If there's any one of you tonight that might be having a grudge against somebody, or you kind of resent something that happened, God, I know that the Word talks about how we need to forgive them and go on, and there's a lot of what Arlie said was right on, and how we need to walk in forgiveness with each other, and how important forgiveness is, and discipline. Those are two huge things in our spiritual walk that are going to help us. If you want to grow spiritually, two huge things. If you can walk in forgiveness and love either despite their mistakes, and you can not only forgive others but forgive yourself, and you can be disciplined in what God is showing you in His Word, you're going to grow spiritually. I guarantee that's going to be a great thing. So some great stuff from both Arlie and Caden this morning at Youth Takeover Sunday right here at Church on the Rock.